On this episode of the Hyperfast Agent Podcast, we are joined by Christina Daves from PR for Everyone. Listen in as Christina presents at the Hyperfast Sales Summit. We hope you enjoy.
So glad. Thank you, Keri and Dan. Amazing to be in person. Thank you, everyone who's virtual. So I want you guys to think about, do I have slides? Hello? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Way back. All right. Who remembers February 2020, right? Life was good. We could do things. We could have networking events. We could ride subways. It was a different world back then. And in the last 8 months, everything has changed. So now we need to get you all to stand out in this really busy, loud digital world, right? Because what did everybody do? Everybody went, oh crap, I've got to be online. And there's no strategy. There was no plan. It was just, I'm just going to throw everything out there and people will find me. So yes, that will get you more visible, but the key is a strategy to get more visible, because the more visibility you have, right, the more buyers and sellers are going to find you all, and then you're going to make more sales and make more money. So how do you do it? So we've created a new system this year called Captivate and Cash In. Right? If you guys can captivate the audience, you will make the sales. And at the end of the presentation, if you love this and you're excited about this, I'll talk about a way that we could work together more. But the key is getting you all to stand out in this really, really busy, noisy world. So before I dive in too deep, I just want to tell you all quickly who I am. Again, my name is Christina Daves, and I am a publicity strategist. But here's the deal. I never went to school for PR. I've never worked in a PR firm. I have no traditional PR experience. And the reason I share that with you is all of you can do exactly what I've done myself. And it's really important when you work with people like Dan and Keri talk about, you know, they walk the walk. I walk this walk with you every single day. So everything I share with you, I've done. So I'm not just standing up here saying, you should do this. It might work. No, it works. I know for sure. So here I am on the Steve Harvey show. I'm actually an inventor. I invented a product. That's how all of this started. And I won his top inventor competition, which was amazing. I have been on national and local radio. I have been in print magazines, something like this, like Forbes. Forbes magazine online gets 27 unique views a month. Who would like that, right? The SEO that you get is tremendous. I've been on local television. I've been on national television. And again, I just shared this with you so you see that's me on there, that everything I'm going to share is anything anyone can do. So the first thing that's so important right now, and here we go with my hands. Let's see how I'm going to do this. But we are in scroll nation, right? How do you all look at your phones, right? You've got to be able to stop people in their tracks. Think of who's been to Times Square, the old days, right? Is that not information overload? You're like, what is this? So you all have got to learn to get a message across to your ideal buyers and sellers. Who are you connecting with, and how do you get that message out there? Because otherwise, they're going to scroll right past you. So how many of you have seen this, right? Most real estate agents are putting stuff out there saying, I'm going to sell your house the fastest for top dollar. Anyone want to admit that they do this? That's okay. You don't have to. I see a couple little, no, but this is the problem. Everybody's doing this. How do you stand out? How about your website? This makes me crazy with my real estate clients. All of your websites look exactly the same. A generic, and I know there's companies and your real estate companies give you these websites. What does that tell me about you, the agent? Nothing. Nobody works with companies anymore. I had my real estate license in the 90s. I had it for 25 years. I started out with Coldwell Banker. I was a Coldwell Banker agent. Nobody cares today what company you work for. They want to work with each one of you. And that's why it's so important to connect with people that you would want to work with. I want you all to attract your ideal clients. Anyone ever had a client they didn't want to work with? Right? We've all done that. I've actually fired clients before. So I want you to be attracting the best people possible. Here's the problem though. And this slide I need to update. They say you have 7 seconds to grab someone's attention. I was on a call last week and Lululemon just did a study. It is down to 1.7 seconds. 1.7 seconds is all you have. So imagine if they go to your generic website where you say, put an address in here, sign up for my mailing list. You've lost them. You've got to grab people's attention in your messaging. And again, noisy world, how do you cut through all that noise? So here's reasons it's not working. You're too generic. You're not attracting your ideal people. And you might not be attracting people who are ready to buy and sell with the right message. So how do you do it? The first thing you want to do, you want a niche. What is your red circle? What do you do that can connect you with like-minded people? It could be a nonprofit that you work with. I had a former real estate client who lost a son to suicide. And she does a big walk every year. Some of the local agents might know Gail, but that she gets publicity for that. But they talk about her being a real estate agent. Well, imagine the like-minded people that she can attract that way. If you are a cancer survivor, anything that you've done, maybe you've adopted a child, things that will connect you, that those people are going to find you. I hear from agents all the time, but Christina, I can sell to everybody. Of course you can sell to everybody, but when you hone in that message, and you could have some different groups, maybe it's a nonprofit, maybe you have some personal things that you do. Maybe it's something with your kids. It could be sports. But how do you relate pets? I worked with an agent who was really into dogs. And then we found out 80% of all homeowners own dogs. It's like, wow, that's a pretty good connection. But I want you to figure out, hone in, the black is the real estate. What's the white? And then what's the red? Because that's going to help you get media attention as well. What is that one thing that you do that's unique to everybody else in this room and everybody watching on the live stream? You all have a gift. You all do something differently than everybody else does. I want you to identify that and start using that in your messaging. And what is your USP? What do you do for buyers and sellers? That better be on your website, on your LinkedIn, everything. So when you have that 1.7 seconds, you're grabbing their attention instantly, and then they're going to scroll a little bit more and learn more about you. So that's going to help you stand out in the crowd, right? That one little thing is just going to up-level you compared to everybody else. And again, you're still a real estate agent. You're just honing in on that one thing that you do differently. Now, you all can hire a PR firm if you want. Anybody want to spend 10 grand a month? 6 months. And you know what their contracts say at the bottom? We cannot guarantee results. So it's so much better if you all can learn how to do it. Now, do you have to do it? No, you guys are busy. I totally get that. But you need to learn your message and your strategy, and then you can hire a virtual assistant. You can hire anybody part-time to do this for you, as long as you know that what they're doing is good for your business and it's your voice. So here it is. This is all you need. Screenshot it. Take pictures of this. This is the Get PR Famous formula. And I know there are people watching and people here today live who are like, Christina, I don't want to be famous. Like, I just want to sell real estate. But here's the deal. If you don't become famous, somebody else will. And I have a couple people in here that I've worked with that have had success with this. When you go to a listing appointment, right, with an article that you're featured in, you stand out above everybody else who's coming in behind you in that listing appointment. You are now the famous real estate agent, and people like to work with famous people. So there's 3 steps to the process. You want to be newsworthy, you want to create great hooks, and you want to find the right journalist. And when you have all 3 of those in place, you'll be light years ahead of your competition. And here's the deal. Everybody here and everybody watching can do this because you all have that gift, that unique message, that unique thing that you do. And those are the kinds of stories you're going to pitch the media. So we're going to start. Oh, I'm sorry. Logos. This is so important. This is why you want it. Is you want the logos on your website. You want the logos on your marketing materials. Would that look pretty credible if you were going to work with a real estate agent and they had a banner like that? Right? There's your famous realtor right there. It just steps you up compared to everybody else. Here's the other thing. What's anyone going to do before they work with you? Check you out. They are going to Google you. So when you get media exposure and you have all those logos and you have all those links, when they put your name into Google and you come up at the top, hey, there's that famous real estate agent again. So here's an example. Ashley, I don't think is here today, but if she's watching, I love to use her as an example because she has taken this and run with it. So if you put Ashley Waymeyer into Google, look at what comes up. I don't know if you guys can see this. NBC, Real Estate Radio, Washingtonian Magazine, Military Money Matters. She looks pretty darn credible, doesn't she? Would you work with her? I would. And this is what people are going to do. They're going to put you into Google. So let's make sure that you have this. I only have 30 minutes, so I'm going to give you one really good tip to be newsworthy. You want to be the fish in your own bowl. You want to be different. Remember, we're using that target. We're going in on the red. So the easiest way to do this is what they call newsjacking. Has anybody ever heard of newsjacking before? Okay. It's where you take something that's going on in the news and you bring it home. You bring it to your real estate expertise. This can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in your backyard. You could take the California wildfires and say, hey, if this were to happen here, if this were to happen in Texas, in Iowa, insurance covers this. Insurance doesn't cover this. What do you do to protect your house? You could give tips. So it doesn't always have to be in your backyard. As real estate agents, Trulia, Realtor.com, there are studies that come out all the time. Talk about them. Bring them local. What does that mean? Become the expert in your industry. Obviously, COVID, 8 months of it. My real estate clients had so much success in these 8 months. Do you guys remember when it first started, the Fed lowered the rate and the stock market crashed? What happened to real estate? Skyrocketed. There were opportunity after opportunity. Even though you all were essential, nobody really wanted to do open houses, virtual open houses. Boom, jump in on that. So there were so many things, and it's not going to change. The election, depending on which side wins, there's going to be laws that change that you all can talk about. So position yourself as this expert with the media. I'll give you a couple examples. Cedric is a Keller Williams agent in Maryland, and he's a former client. He's super successful, been in Realtor.com 30 times, national magazines. And he said, Christina, I'm ready for TV. I'm like, Cedric, it's COVID. Like there is, this is not the easiest time to get on TV if you haven't been on already. Sure enough, we worked together. I think we spent half an hour on the phone. We formulated a pitch. So what he did is he talked about how hot the market was the first quarter and what could we expect the second quarter, because nobody really expected that with real estate, right? We thought everything was going down. So boom, first pitch out of the gate. This stuff that I'm telling you works. And as long as you follow the formula and do it, newsworthy story, great hook, I'm going to teach you all this, and find the right journalist, you'll get covered in the media. You just have to have good stories. This is Pat, who is a Compass agent and client of mine. She texted me. You guys remember when Redfin said they weren't going to work with buyers anymore? And they can't do this. She was so upset. We hopped on the phone. I said, Pat, that's your pitch. Pitch the Washington Post. This is David versus Goliath. You are a buyer's agent in Washington, D.C., and you want to take on Redfin, telling them they are making the biggest mistake of their company. Sure enough, full page article, front page of the Washington Post real estate section. Anybody like that? Nobody paid for this, no advertising costs. This is literally coming up with a good story idea and sending it in. I talked about Ashley before. Oh, she was so smart. She jumped on the Amazon thing when it happened. And what she did is she happened to be going on a trip to visit family in Seattle. So she said, hey, I'm going to go out to Seattle and I'm going to see what happened to the real estate market out there when Amazon started. They loved it. She's now a regular on Channel 4. And she's actually sent me, because I get so excited when I turn on my TV and I see my clients on there, because they don't always tell me after a while. It gets to be a regular thing. But so I was like, Ashley, congratulations. And she forwarded me the email from the reporter. And she said, Ashley, you have perfected the art of the pitch. Yeah. So and let me tell you, once you start this and you're good, they will have you back all the time. My first appearance on Good Morning Washington, and I practiced and I prepared. I knew it was good. And I got done and they said, Christina, the control room loves you. You come back anytime. That's what happens when you're good. So for those of you who want to do this, do it well. You get one shot, but you do it well and you're good. And you will be like Ashley she's a regular. Okay, you guys feel good about newsworthy. You can take what's going on in the world. You can bring it home. You can pitch a good story idea. Hooks. What's a hook? A hook is how you grab the journalist in on the subject line, right? You've got to get them to read your really awesome newsworthy story idea. So you've got to grab them with a hook. This is the easiest trick in the book. Look at magazine covers. Magazine covers, those are copywriters who write that. Where do we buy magazines? Anybody, where do you buy a magazine? Not online, grocery store, right? Impulse purchase. You're walking through, you are buying a magazine based on the hook. So Google, if you work with first-time home buyers, Google something like BuzzFeed. What are their hooks? If you're doing retirees, people moving out, downsizing, look at what AARP does. See where your demographic is and look at magazine covers. Don't copy them exactly, but use the adjectives, verbs, use the formulas that they use and plug that in. You will get journalists to be like, oh, I have to read this story. That's the key. It's not hard. I am not a good copywriter at all. I have learned this. Everything I'm sharing with you too, muscle memory. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And you're going to leave here and be like, oh, there's a story idea. Oh, that's a great hook. I could use that. I'll switch that. It will change your real estate career, I promise. And then the last thing is finding the right journalist. And I'm telling you, it is one big trick. Google. Google is a question search engine. So I just did an example up here. Who writes about real estate for the Washington Post? Oh, look, there's Kathy Orton who pops up. And this is so cool. Do you see down here where it says connect? That's her email. It's going to pre-populate for you. All you have to do is click the button and her email address is going to come up. So you don't even have to dig that far. Can you guys do this? Could everyone do a quick Google search? You guys awake? Come on. Yes. Who's excited? This is awesome stuff. Who wants hundreds of thousands of people to learn about them? There's no other way to do this other than paying for advertising than free publicity. I get really psyched about this because it changed my world and it's changed the real estate agents that I've worked with. So then I want you to imagine you get a little media and then you put it out on social media. So what happens when you start tagging your reporter or the media outlet? What do you think they're going to do? They love this stuff. They're going to share it. So it starts to get exponential. So imagine too, you've got this great message, right? Because you're going to learn how to do messaging. You've got your unique selling proposition. Then you're going to get media for it and you're going to put it out on social media. You're going to blow up your business. It's the formula. It's messaging, social media. You add that to PR and it's where the magic happens. Do you guys see how this could work? Like if you put a little bit of time, here's the thing, 10 minutes a day. Anyone willing to invest 10 minutes a day in this? Yes, great. Some people, I'm telling you, it works. It's super, super exciting. And I want you to think about what you're leaving on the table. How much money are you leaving on the table by not doing this? Because guess what? The media is going to use somebody, right? If it's not you, it's going to be you. If it's not you, it's going to be you. They need real estate agents. I mean, this is super, super important that they've got to have experts. So if you're the expert and then you start doing it, and guess what? You're in the Rolodex. So then they start calling you. So once you start and get into it, it's really awesome because you don't have to keep pitching and keep pitching. And I'm going to share a great story with you in a little bit where the person's been in the media one time and blew up his business with one article. And that's all he's ever done. He uses the same article every time he goes out. So we're not going to go back to the way it was, not for a long time. We are in this, optimistically 2 years. You hear longer. I pray it's not that long, but we can't go back to February. It's going to be a while. I mean, this is amazing that we're all here, separated, masks, but going back to networking events. I kept thinking about my kids did swim team back in the day. And if you've ever done swim team, you're a timer. Well, for a real estate agent, that's a great opportunity to make really good friends with your neighbor who might be wanting to buy or sell. Soccer games. My son was a hockey player. My daughter played volleyball, like all these sporting opportunities with your kids to meet the parents and get your referral network gone. So you've got to figure out how you're going to stand out online. And you can do this. You guys, it's just a few tweaks. It's a few tweaks to your website. It's a few tweaks to your social media. When I talk about this, I don't want you looking at me saying, well, Christina, I can't rebuild everything. I can't. No. Minor tweaks. That's all it takes. How do you grab attention? How do you change one sentence on your website, one sentence on your LinkedIn, whatever platforms you're using? Maybe it's Facebook. Instagram is so huge for real estate agents right now. How do you stand out with that? And anyone in here can be on TV, can be in print, can be on podcasts, can be anywhere. And imagine when you have that and you can share that with people, you look amazing. So how do you do it? Who's excited about this? Who would like to learn how to do this, right? This will change your business. It will change everything. So I'm here, obviously. And as they said when they introduced me, I've personally been in over 1,000 media outlets. Together with all of my students and my clients, we have over 1 billion views. That's a B. And over $100 million in sales from free publicity. So I know this works. So this is Cindy Ashton, who is in New York, and they're all quarantined. They can't go anywhere. But Cindy and I actually hired one another as coaches. Cindy does messaging. She does presentation skills. She's a rock star. And when we started working together, we were like, wow, our stuff together is really good. Like if people could really learn the messaging from her and how to put it out there, and how to do video and be really impactful in that 1.7 seconds. So we took our stuff and we put it together and we created what we're calling a visibility bundle. And this is what everybody needs right now in October 2020, because you've got to stand out online. So I put a PR package together. I've got a digital course in there. I actually just recorded an entire section just for real estate agents. So when I talked about the newsworthy piece, I tell you specifically exactly what you all can do to get media exposure. Another really cool thing that we do is we give you content calendars for the entire year. So the rest of 2020 and all of 2021, if you need content ideas for every single day of the month, we're giving that to you. So I've got templates and email lists and anything you need to get in the media is in this. That's why we called it the Platinum PR package. And then I coupled that with 3 of Cindy's programs. So creating videos that convert. This is her secret sauce. This woman is brilliant at it. She will help you write scripts and tell you exactly what you need. How do you grab that attention instantly? Who's doing video? Good. Awesome. We all have to be. We have to be. And it doesn't have to be fancy. Grab your iPhones, but you've got to be doing that. People want to work with people and they've got to get to know you. And that's how they're going to get to know you is video. Who's nervous about video? I was terrible. You guys, I put sticky notes around my laptop and I would read like this. This is how I would do. I was so bad. And I saved that video because now I do this and I'm on TV and I speak. And if you had said to me 5 years ago, this would be my life, no way. So I want to talk about muscle memory and practice. And Cindy helps you step by step exactly how to get these amazing videos that will convert. She had a client who's a real estate agent in Canada, petrified. Her social media is now getting more engagement than ours is. Like, wait a minute, we can't be teaching them all this stuff and then they just like totally take it off. And she was petrified of doing it. And she is now a total rock star with it and getting clients because she found that niche and she's doing videos talking about that. Sydney and I together did a social media engagement blueprint. You've got to have engagement. If you're just throwing spaghetti on the wall, it's not going to work. Lana talked about TikTok. You've got to find a connection. You've got to do that. So we do not talk about TikTok, but we talk about how do you do this on other platforms. And it carries over to a TikTok, to build rapport, to create engagement, to get people talking, because once you start talking, that's how you start to close deals. And the last part is story, tell to sell. Your story is everything. Everything. You've got to be able to tell that story, to share that story so you connect with people. Connection and rapport, that's the new marketing right now. That's 2021, because the days of networking like we used to do it are gone. But by building connection and rapport online through video, telling your story is the way to go. So if you bought all of our programs individually, it'd be $34.88, almost $3,500. We wanted to do something for you all. We have been doing a lot of this because we just want people to learn how to do this. We really want you all to be super successful. We know this stuff is really good. It's $14.97. For those of you who are here, I have order forms. We can do it here, or you can go to PR4anyone/Hyperfast. And I know that right now times are tough for some people. So we've done an installment plan as well. So it's $507, it's 3 installments. But I'm telling you, this will change your world, learning how to do this. My grandmother used to always say, what you learn, no one can take away from you. You can't go wrong by learning how to do this. Cindy and I both have worked with Doug Brown, who's the former president of Tony Robbins. Anyone remember Tony Robbins? But so he's a successful businessman already. Grew his business by $600,000 in 1 year by learning messaging, presentation, things like that. Oh, we have a bonus. This is so great. We did this for people last year too, and they loved it. I think Ashley did this, but we did an assessment. So what we do is, and I saw Gretchen somewhere too, she did it as well, but we look at all of your assets and we give you a recording. We go through your website, your social media. Was that helpful for you? Yeah. So we'll go through and help you with that. Hey, this is your USP. This is what you need on your website. This is probably worth everything right there just to have that assessment. Here's why your social media posts aren't getting engagement. So we'll help you through wherever you're active, whatever you're doing. Cindy or I will do a recording for you and send that to you. How happy will you be when you start to attract your clients and they come to you? I've worked with Casey, if you guys know him, Casey Sampson, top producing agent, but he changed so much of what he did by learning how to do this. And he has grown his business by almost $20 million a year by implementing one little thing. You don't have to do everything. One thing can change your business. It really can. These are just some of the places that the real estate agents I worked with. This is COVID, guys. During COVID, we've been in all of these. So media is looking for real estate experts, and I want it to be all of you. The last thing we're doing, and this is because when I buy a program, I always have questions, right? We always do, and there's never anyone to ask. So Cindy and I are getting on a live group call November 17th at 2:00 Eastern. If you can't make it, you can submit questions ahead of time, but this gives you a month to dive into the programs and then come and ask, and we'll stay on. We'll help you all. Whatever you need, you can ask us specific questions for it. So I think it's a really robust package. I'll end with Dustin because I told you guys I wanted to share this story. Any brand new agents? Okay. Dustin was a brand new agent and came to this training, bought my program, and he is so excited. He's like, I'm going to pitch the Washington Post. I'm like, Dustin, that's awesome. But if it doesn't work the first time, we have to keep going. That's a strategy that we teach. It's not just one and done. Well, Dustin was one and done. He pitched a story about, he used to be at Bed Bath & Beyond as a manager, was doing a lot with Facebook ads. So he pitched a story about selling homes using Facebook ads. And the Washington Post loved it. Within 2 weeks, he had an article. This was December 4th. I texted him after the holidays, and this is what he said, that he was published in the Post and got $5 million plus listings in 6 weeks. Who would like that? Right? Be amazing. He did $24 million his first year. So all the newbies saying that first year business, 24 million, he's never looked back. I said, why don't you get more media? He said, I don't need to. I take this one article to every listing appointment. I win them all, most of them. And he's really turned himself into a luxury agent from one article. So this is the information again. It's $3,500 worth of products plus the bonuses. I didn't even add those in, but $507 for 3 installments, $1,497. I'm here if anybody wants to do that, or the people watching online. It's all on the page there. You guys can look at it. And I'm right on time. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hyperfast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest Hyperfast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave some comments about what you think on the videos. I'll see you next time.